go. Hour number 3 live. This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and right here on FS1. It's Los Angeles. Lightning all over the city today. Told people get off the beach. Crazy weather all over America. We're also on Channel 83, Sirius XM. Joy Taylor is joining me. It's been crazy. I saw a picture today. Chicago, lake frozen all the way.
It's really crazy. I just keep seeing the videos of people throwing boiling water in the air.
And it evaporates.
Turning it into snow. Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Stay safe out there.
Coming up in 5 minutes, probably the shocking player in the NFL this year, Darius Leonard, who none of us watched play in college, came into the league, and within about a month and a half, do we have the best linebacker in football? Darius Leonard of the Colts, who is a shockingly, remarkably, surprisingly great player right out of the gate, will be joining us with my Colts when they win their my Colts. Shannon Sharp in 30 minutes. Best for last today. I'll give you my top 10 players in the Super Bowl, and I think it's different than a lot of other people's. But it seems almost impossible. It really does. Brady and Belichick going to their 9th Super Bowl together. 9. So let me start there. Even industry leaders have off years. Now, let's say Apple. You're battling Apple in the tech sector. And Apple comes out with an iPhone, and it's got a bunch of glitches. Apple is vulnerable. This is time for Apple's rivals to take advantage. Let's say you're an automaker, and you're battling a Ford or a Chevy or a GM, one of these great companies, and they have a major recall. They have a brake pad issue. They are vulnerable. Even industry leaders are vulnerable, have off years, have controversies in every business, even football. I know you hate the Patriots. I don't, but I know most of you do. I just want you to realize this was the year to knock them off. Okay, they finally had a controversy. Okay, they haven't had a controversy like this in 18 years. They finally had one. Belichick, Brady, first big argument. He slept on the couch. Their number 1 draft pick at the number 1 need on the team, left tackle, got hurt. The guy protecting Tom Brady, the rookie from Georgia, got hurt, never played. Major issue. They had to scramble, make a trade with the 49ers. The veterans, many of them, important veterans, Danny Amendola, Deion Lewis, Malcolm Butler, they all left at once in free agency. Whoa, these were good players. And they all left. Julian Edelman was suspended for 4 games. He was out for all of September and coming off an ACL. We just didn't know how good he was going to be. You had the Josh Gordon distraction. That was just a mess that really, the Pittsburgh game, you were like, what's wrong with New England? I mean, it literally disrupted a game for them. And then a week ago, you had to play a road playoff game. Talk about an obstacle. I mean, this was the year to beat them. Tom Brady talked about this the other day. This has been roadblock after roadblock.
It's never linear. I mean, I guess you have a few years in there, and I can think of a few in our team history that just kind of went like, obviously, the 07 team. And 2010, I thought we had a great team. We lost to the Jets in the playoffs. And there's some other years that are just, you gotta fight and claw. 2001 was like that. This year has been like that.
But here's the problem for the rest of the NFL. None of those problems, the controversy, the number 1 draft pick that didn't play, the veterans that all left in free agency, Edelman being suspended for September, the Josh Gordon mess, having to play a road game in the playoffs against the MVP quarterback, they probably don't face any of those next year. My guess is they're not going to have their second big distraction, their second big Brady-Belichick beef. They've got 12 draft picks, really 14 if you count the 2 picks last year that won starting jobs and got hurt. There's no big free agent losses looming other than maybe Trey Flowers, and I think they pay for him. Gronk is leaving, said as much yesterday. That'll free up cap space. And the Jets and the Dolphins have new head coaches, translation, new systems. That takes a little bit. So that probably takes those teams to October, early November. New coach, new system, new offense, new defense to kind of be upright and formidable. Folks, this was the year. And they're in the Super Bowl, and they're favored by a field goal, and even the sharps in Vegas, all 9 of the biggest bets are on New England. If Apple comes out with a glitch in their iPhone, or a major automaker has a brake pad issue and has to do a recall, industry leaders are all at some point vulnerable. You better take advantage. And this year, the Rams are the last chance to take advantage of a vulnerable dynasty, the longest in NFL history. By the way, I was talking to a scout in the NFL last night, and he said it's a real thing. He said, don't kid yourself. He goes, a really big advantage for the Patriots. And he goes, I don't think it's just a small advantage. Belichick is really good once guys get into the league. Bill's made some mistakes in the draft, okay? But he said once guys get into the league, Bill's a great talent evaluator. Once guys get into the league on what fits, how to stop players. And the Rams' 2 biggest offensive threats on the perimeter, Brandon Cooks, played for the Patriots last year. Bill knows all of his strengths, all of his weaknesses, what routes he runs well, what routes he doesn't. And so the Patriots have intimate knowledge of Brandon Cooks, what he can do, what he can't. All those corners for New England, they've all covered him at practice for a year. That is a big advantage for New England. And Robert Woods. Robert Woods played for 4 years in Buffalo. Belichick has faced Robert Woods many, many times. And to add to that, Stephon Gilmore, the best corner for the Patriots, played with Robert Woods for 4 years. You don't think Stephon Gilmore knows every single move of Robert Woods? The other thing is, so those 2 big offensive weapons, this is what worries me for the Rams. I don't know if Todd Gurley's healthy. So if Todd Gurley, and I'm not sure he's been healthy since late October, if Todd Gurley's not 100%, and he wasn't last week, he lost confidence. He couldn't catch, he couldn't block. There is a big advantage for New England here on the perimeter. Belichick knows NFL players. Now, again, he's not always been the best drafter. He's made plenty of mistakes. Once guys get in the league, Bill knows weaknesses, strengths. He's really an NFL guy. He leans on Saban, Urban Meyer, some of his guys for college stuff, and people in his staff for college stuff. Bill's not sitting on Saturday night watching hours and hours of college football. Some coaches do. But he knows Brandon Cooks, and he knows Robert Woods. Aqib Talib was with him for 2 years in the Patriot system, so he knows his vulnerabilities and his strengths. Those are 3 really important players in this game. Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks, and Aqib Talib. All Rams, all very, very important players, and they know them really, really well. And I haven't heard anybody talk about that. It's not maybe a sexy, glamorous topic, but, it's something.
Well, we've been talking about it a lot with the Todd Gurley, C.J. Anderson situation. It's a huge advantage for Bill Belichick to not know what's going on there because he always takes away your biggest weapon.
Right.
So if your biggest weapon in Todd Gurley eliminates himself, I mean, you would assume that they're going to do whatever they can to take Robert Woods out of the game if that's their number one receiver and the most reliable target.
It's interesting, Joy, because I don't know. If I have Stephon Gilmore, I can put him on Robert Woods. I'm not sure I have to double. I think that's a good matchup. I advantage nobody. I think that's a really good matchup. We asked it this week, is the number one weapon for the Rams was Cooper Kupp. Right. It was Gurley and Cooper Kupp. Well, Cooper Kupp's gone, and Jared Goff's numbers have come down. I think if Cooper Kupp was in this game and Todd Gurley, I knew 100% healthy, I think I'd take the Rams. I mean, I would have no problem with it. My reluctance to take the Rams is all statistical. Cooper Kupp left, ACL, Goff's never quite been the same. That's factual. To the point where Sean McVay went and got another running back because he knew they had to become more run-centric. And for the record, should also be noted that you and I don't know how healthy Gurley is. Everybody on the internet last week was trying to figure out, how healthy is he. I don't know. I just know he wasn't completely healthy.
Right. Well, there was something off.
Yeah, well, this next young man joining us, I don't think in all my years of watching the NFL, 40 years of it, there's ever been a guy, maybe Walter Payton, maybe Jerry Rice, that came into the league. I didn't see a single one of their plays in college. He played for South Carolina State. I'll admit I didn't watch him in college. And he walks into the league like a Walter Payton, like a Jerry Rice, like our next guest, Darius Leonard. And I'm watching him thinking, how come he didn't play at Alabama? He may be the best linebacker in the league. A great young player. The Colts will build their defense around Darius Leonard via the Cowherd Satellite Network.